Hey everyone, Professor K here. Let's go over this week's new HTML elements. Now, this week we're going to be focusing on structuring lists and semantic HTML, kind of continuing that lesson that we learned last time, as well as layout and sectioning. So let's take a closer look at what those elements are. So first of all, our new HTML elements for this week include UL, unordered list. That's going to be for a list of items where the order doesn't matter. If you could change around the items in the list and it wouldn't really make a difference in the meaning of the content, that's when you're going to use an unordered list. Our next tag that we're going to focus on is ordered list. That's going to be for a list of items where the order does change meaning. The most obvious example of that is in a set of directions. If you do directions in the wrong order, it changes the outcome. So that's why you would use this OL tag as opposed to the UL tag, an ordered list instead of an unordered list. Finally, we have what's called a list item. This is just going to be an item inside of a list. The item doesn't really care what kind of list it is. It's just going to be a list item. So before we move on to these other tags in the new HTML elements for this week, let's take a closer look at these lists. All right, so here in Popcode, we have a basic HTML page title. And you might remember that we have our main heading as an H1, and H2s are really great for subheadings. But what if we wanted to mark up something similar to our recipe for disaster? Well, we can see here that we have a heading one, a paragraph description, and then two different types of lists, an ingredients and a directions. Let's start by getting a couple of examples into here. So first of all, let's add recipe for disaster here, and then let's add our ingredients. And we're not going to worry too much about the rest of the content here. I want to start by adding a couple of ingredients. And I'm just going to do ingredient one, ingredient two, and ingredient three. So how do we change this from plain text to a list? This involves two parts. The part is a wrapper tag, something that says this collection of items is the list, and then actual list items. So let's build this one by one. Let's not decide what kind of list we're working with yet. Let's just start by defining list items. A list item uses the li tag. So left bracket li, ingredient one, left bracket slash li, right bracket creates a list item. Now, right now, Popcode is going to say that we have an error because it needs to be inside an unordered list or ordered list tag. We're going to ignore that for the moment, and we're just going to focus on creating our ingredients, ingredient two and ingredient three. So now let's decide what kind of list we should be making. Does this need to be an ordered list? Is the ordering of ingredients important here? The order here doesn't matter. If we put XYZ first, that would be just fine. These ingredients can go in any order we want. That means the best tag for us to use is an unordered list tag. Remember that that is left bracket UL. And this tag is going to wrap all list items. So here we're starting the list. And now we're going to add an end tag with that slash UL to say the list ends here. I'm going to tab this over just so that the indentation is really clear. So it's very clear that these list items are children of the unordered list. So see here how we have UL, several LIs, and then slash UL and unordered list. And now in our preview, we have bullets in our list. So what would happen if we change this to an ordered list? It's really easy to do that. All you have to do is change the U to an O, and now you have an ordered list. And what's different about the ordered list is that instead of those bullets, you get numbers. So if we wanted to mock up our directions here in our HTML, and we said direction one, direction A, and direction X1Z. Well, if you don't do these directions in that exact order, the outcome will be different. For example, if I, in my recipe for disaster, showed things to the very important person back here, somewhere around direction two, we probably would have avoided the disaster. Part of the reason why this is a disaster is because we waited until very, very late in the design process to include the very important person who can blow it all up. So obviously, the ordering has a great impact on the meaning of the content. And that's why we have these two different tags, OL versus UL. So that's how you do lists in HTML. Again, you have three tags that you're really working with: the unordered list tag, which holds all list items, and it holds specifically list items that can be rearranged without changing their meaning; the ordered list tag, which holds list items as well, but says that the list items must be in a certain order in order to preserve the meaning of the content. And finally, an LI tag, list item, that holds any sort of item that is inside a list. It is required for ordered and unordered lists. If you remove it, the syntax of the HTML will be broken. It will not render correctly. It's incorrect HTML. So you always have to have that LI tag. So I hope this helps. We're going to go over some other new HTML tags in just a moment.